Hello and welcome to a Talking Told podcast. I'm your host Teddy and I'm being joined once again by
Hayden.
And today we're going to be talking about the TMNT 2012 Season 1 Episode 17 TCRI. Now quickly before we do get into this episode, and for the viewers at home, this is pre-recorded in advance, but Hayden, got something quite interesting. Today is the 10-year anniversary of this show.
Whoa!
I mean, the thing is, in this case, I would have asked you, what was your best memory of the show, or like growing up or something, but I can't ask you that. So, what do you think about this episode briefly?
This episode, well, I'm not gonna lie, this episode has just blown everything out of the water, like literally. Like everything that I thought about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe is just, I don't know what's what anymore. But this episode is, I'm not gonna lie, it is really, there's no other word to describe it. Awesome. Like it's awesome, just in general, with bringing back old and new characters into the mix and just absolutely melting my brain on what's going on. But all I could say is, hands down, this is an episode to remember.
I should hope so. I'd say for this episode overall, like as a kid, I really did enjoy this episode, and I would say now, I think this episode's okay, but but I do definitely enjoy how this episode definitely changes quite a lot in terms of like the Krang and the overall and the series story with the Krang and what they're planning to do with everything. I do think it was like a really good idea of changing everything, but I don't know. I think because of like what I have problems with the show, it still comes through with this episode and sort of lowers it down. But like, I still do quite enjoy this episode. Okay, so we first start off with the Turtles chasing down the Krang in a helicopter through their patrol buggies, but then they are accidentally destroyed, or no, not destroyed. Their T-phone is destroyed. So that's when they go to find Leatherhead and ask him to get some help, and he gets angry, of course. But yeah, what do you think of these two scenes?
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty unreal, to be honest, with these scenes. Like, I don't know why the Turtles didn't use the Shell Razor to go after them. Like, surely they could have used the Shell Razor's cannon to knock the helicopter
The power cell.
out of the sky. Yeah.
No, they didn't have the power
What?
cell. That was the thing that was like.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Yep, no power cell, no Shell Razor. Yep, that's why they're using the buggies. That's why. Right. Thanks for that.
I have to say,
God, how could I forget?
I have to say for the little chase scene, I like how they didn't really care too much for the public as they more or less made a van just knock over.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, and then also I'm pretty sure after like Donnie knocked his T-phone, there's like, oh, we can't catch up to the Krang because we don't know where the power cell and all that. They can more or less catch up to the helicopter by foot by running across the rooftops. That's all I've got to say about that.
Yes, definitely. Yes, they are more than capable of doing so. But it's just unreal. And I just want to bring up the fact that this time they were definitely seen in public.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got the van that they trashed, and oh my gosh, like, they toppled a van. They almost ran over a guy, and they almost ran over the pizza guy. And if they haven't been found out yet, then they have either got to be, one, the secretest ninjas that I have ever seen, or two, New Yorkers are just blindly belligerent, I guess. They just don't see things, I guess.
I like how the pizza guy is the same pizza delivery person they're showing every time.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, I thought I saw him from a couple of episodes ago. It was like that. Like, this pizza guy is all over the place. Like, just there was one pizza guy for New York. Like,
oh yeah,
he's non-stop.
He's still going to be a lot more as the pizza delivery guy. He doesn't change.
The same old pizza guy out of New York. Like, he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah.
If that's the only pizza guy.
You will see, like, with all the people in New York, it's just basically the same people you will see. I mean, like, they use the same cops over and over again. They use the same homeless person over and over again. I know that I can't really do too much, but like, I know that it's during the night and all that, but I still feel as though there could be a bit more variety of people other than just the pizza guy, the homeless guy, and the other people they had on as rigs.
Hmm.
But yeah, what do you think of the Tells finding Leatherhead, and they explained the power cell and what happened with that, and him cool grabbing Donnie by the face.
Yeah. To be honest, I was actually quite surprised to see Leatherhead back so soon, and I'm not gonna lie, Leatherhead is a cool character. I like him a lot because he destroys Krang, and anyone that destroys Krang is a friend of mine. So seeing him again was pretty cool. Just seeing him back in action, and of course, I just love how Donnie just gets in the way. He's always the one for Leatherhead just to. I don't know what's Leatherhead's problem with Donnie. Like, maybe it's his face, like Raph said, and oh my gosh, that cracked me up when Raph said, there are a dozen ways I could explain why your face is so ugly. That was priceless right there. And I'm not gonna lie, I did crack a giggle with that one. That was priceless. There is a lot of, I'm not gonna say this now, there is a lot of priceless like quotes and lines in this
Oh
episode,
yeah.
which I love, and I've got so many. Like literally, I can. There is going to be like a huge list coming up, so don't you worry about that. There is a huge list coming up for that.
Look forward to it.
But yeah, that scene was just so funny. Just how Leatherhead just goes to town every single time. Like, just don't say the K word, all right? Just don't say it, and then everybody will be all right. That's all it is.
Yeah, let's see that. With the Leatherhead thing, I feel like. Okay, so in his first introduction, he goes on to say that he's been there for like 6 months or a bit longer than that now. I feel like he should at least have like some place to call home, and at the very least, not just a little box with a swimming pool in. So
Yeah.
I find that a little bit weird. I also found the like Leatherhead fight. I I don't know if it was just like my mood that I was in while I was watching the episode, but I did find it to be a bit pointless in a way. Just Leatherhead, he just gets angry and stuff like that. But I don't know. I enjoyed the fight, but at the same time, it just felt very forced in. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um,
I can kind of see where you're coming from there.
yeah. I mean, just because he wakes up and just starts fight, or in a nightmare, start fighting. I don't know. It just felt.
Like, has no idea.
Yeah, for me, it just felt like very forced in, but I still did enjoy it. But I just don't think it was as good as the. I mean, the thing is, every time we've seen him, he's just fought the turtles because he's got angry about the Krang. So I mean, that may be more like repetition type situation with this whole scene.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I got, no, two things. So when Leatherhead like stands up fully, not like bending his legs or anything, he looks so skinny. When he, whereas like when he's got his legs bend and all that, he looks like quite beefy and all that.
Yeah, buff.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because his diet, like, I'm not gonna lie, what can you eat in a sewer?
yeah.
Like, you can eat rats, but I don't think they're very nutritious. I'm not saying that I would know if a rat was tasty, like, I've never tried it, but maybe some other people
One K
have tried
special.
rat. Yep. So put in the comments down below if you've tried anything like a rat or anything like that. Just out of curiosity, you know.
I feel like we're gonna really spot the wrong kind of people who's gonna be commenting on this video now or at the podcast.
Oh yeah.
And then like the last thing is, how did Leatherhead climb across the ceiling? That was
Hold on a minute. I don't. Did he?
yeah.
I don't know if he did or not.
He climbs across the ceiling to then I don't know. He's like quite. I don't know if it was like early on or halfway through his fight with the turtles, but I just climbed across the ceiling. I found that to be rather weird.
Hmm.
But yeah.
I I didn't notice that, to be honest. Like I thought he was just climbing on the beams, but I guess there isn't any beams.
Well,
I'm not too
oh
sure.
yeah, oh, I guess that. Well, either way, he still climbed across the ceiling some way. If it was the beams or not, he still climbed across it. It just seemed a bit weird for Leatherhead to be doing that. I mean, like the turtles I can understand, like if it was like climbing across beams, but I think it's just Leatherhead in general. Just if he's put him like climbing up something, it just seems weird for his type of character. I mean, I think like
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, I think like a good example would be like the Hulk, like uh, I don't know, like flying or something like that. Were like it's something that you could see. If it would be good for other characters, but it just doesn't fit right with that type of character.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
Okay, and then after that, Donnie gets a symbol for the TCRI building, but he doesn't know where it is. Mikey is talking about the Olympics, and that's when Donnie comes across, gathers all his notes together and realizes that it's the TCRI building. That's where the Krang are. What did you think of this scene?
This scene was, I'm not gonna lie, I love how Mikey just says the first thing that pops into his head, and I just love that. It's like, oh, it's the Olympics. Like, there is a very, I don't know when this specific episode was made, but was this made during some of the Olympics, perhaps? Like
So okay,
back.
so basically, all the episodes take about a year and a half to make. So this episode was probably written during the time of the Olympics, but like, the thing is, like, it still came out semi close to the Olympics. It came out like a year later, but like still fairly close to the Olympics. But yeah, I think that's.
Hmm,
I mean, the thing is, you'll always find that with like every TV show, movie. I think like a really good example of this would be like Family Guy when like they try to make jokes, but you realise whatever they're joking about is like year or two late or year too old.
yeah.
So like,
Hmm.
so like you can't exactly help it. But I think
Nah, but I was just thinking, it's like, I swear that's like the Olympics. When you watch it now, you're like, hold on a minute, the Olympics is gone and well gone. But then, of course, you realise that this show was made back in the 2000s. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like one of those things where like it, it's hard to explain really, just because like you could say, oh, you need to be there to understand it, but the joke wasn't round then, so. I just think
mm,
it's more or less just one of those things where like you either know about you know what the joke is or you just don't. Luckily we do.
yeah,
But yeah, I must admit I do think the Olympic joke was really good, and I do like the fact that this one was because I know for like with some Mikey jokes, they could just more or less feel like forced in and they don't really do anything with the joke and just feels really lame. But I do like how this joke is like really expandable in a way where, like Spencer comes in and says, "Oh, the Olympics." So then, like later in the episode, like he hums the Olympics things, like theme, or whatever. And I do like how they were able to take a very small joke and just actually expand a bit on it. And for once, I actually really enjoyed it.
I know. I enjoyed it for once, which is really weird. But it was, I don't know. It was so weird. Like they turned something so minute and silly in the episode, but they made it such a huge theme. It became a part of the episode itself. You know?
Yeah. Also, do you think that the Olympic joke overall, I think it is still quite funny, but I do feel as though that it was because like 2012 was like I'd say it was the big one, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think it has the like after hearing the joke, it doesn't really have that same effect anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Like if you experienced the Olympics like back in 2012, like that was our major Olympics back then. That's when we were growing up with the Olympics and it was 2012. Like if that joke would have made sense back then, like it would have made huge sense and everybody would have loved that episode. But as time gets older, so does the episode and of course kind of falls out, but I don't know how after so many years it still works. I seriously don't know how.
I do think that's just more down to like we like we still know the Olympics and stuff like that. I think it's just more of like what we know, really.
Yeah, I guess like you gotta understand the past to understand the episode, I guess. Yeah, but some may do, some may not.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. We'll just see what happens.
Oh, what do you think of Donnie realizing that TCRI was the whole reason behind all this? Because I got a note here about it that I'll say sums up it best.
Overall, like TCRI, like last week, I was scratching my head because I couldn't figure out what this episode meant, but now I do. And I would have been like, oh, damn it, I should have known that. But to be honest, I haven't really heard of TCRI before. So, unless it was in like other comics, but I haven't had the chance to read about the different universes and all that. But the TCRI, like, it was right under their noses this entire time. And to think that they didn't know that TCRI was behind the Krang and everything going on bad in the sea, it was just a revelation for them. But for me, it was a bit like trying to understand. It's like, should I know the TCRI or should I don't know the TCRI? It was one of those moments.
Okay, I mean, okay. So the thing, so I think the TCRI thing would have been a bit more of like a oh my god thing if we had seen it prior to this episode. But I mean, like I feel like
Yeah.
you probably put it best, like because you haven't really seen any other version of Turtles. Um, at the time, this was like a oh my god moment because I mean, I would say because I knew the other versions of Turtles. I would say like if you watch other versions of Turtles, this was like an oh my god moment because the TCRI in the comics 2003 show, they is basically it's more or less the same type of building, except that their Krang are good ones, and they're responsible for the turtles being created, and there's like a lot of backstory behind it. But here it just feels though, I, like they took something that was really important, put the name on it, and then didn't do anything with it. And this should be like a oh my god type moment, but it just didn't, and that's like a real shame
Mm.
because they had like really good opportunities here to do some really interesting things, but yeah, I think maybe also just due to them also knowing the Krang and what they had to do with the backstory, that may also have something to do with it as well. I just feel as though there's like a lot of things that really wasn't as good with this thing. I've got a feeling that the TCRI building is going to be another pulverized situation where I get frustrated so much.
Oh no, I don't want a repeat of last episode. Like last episode was
Mm.
I don't know how to describe it, but let's not have a repeat of that, shall we? Like this episode was such a relief because after last episode, it was a very a lot was said in that episode, so I'm glad this episode like is so much better than this, and it was like really really needed because I don't know what would I have done with that episode. Just
Yeah.
it would have not been pretty. So I'm glad this episode is much better.
Okay, well, after that, the souls are figuring out a way to get into TCRI, and well, they're making the plans, and Leah does a really good Krang impression. What do you think of this scene?
The Krang impression. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit frustrated with Leo at first because one, he's talking like a Krang, and two, it shouldn't ever do that. But after that, I actually found it funny, like how good that voice impression was to be a Krang. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna let this slide, but like I'm gonna let the Krang slide for this one bit because it was quite funny for Leo to be a Krang for just a split second, and I did laugh at that. Like, it was pretty funny because he's like acting like he's trying to pretend like it be a human and a Krang at the same time, which is funny. And then April's like, "What are you doing?" Like, she was about to jump across the table and slap him one.
Yeah.
That's what she had in her eyes. Like, She was like, she weren't messing around. So, but yeah, I just really loved that, and just how it was just perfectly. I don't know. It was perfectly within the space. Like, I don't know. Like, someone actually took the time to just put it in there, and it actually worked. It actually fell into place, and I love that. I just love how they did that.
Yeah, I do like. I think Leah's impression was spot on, really, and it sort of does make me wonder if the person I think Jason Biggs voices him. It does really make me wonder after hearing that if he was actually ever given like a chance to audition for the role Krang. I mean, it's
Um,
almost spot on, really.
yeah, it is spot on, but I probably wouldn't be able to appreciate him because he's Krang,
Yeah. Oh,
Like, I'm glad,
yeah,
but I'm not glad.
yeah. And then my final comment about this whole scene here is why was Leo putting like a little mini like a blade into his bandages to keep for later? That just seemed really
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, it was actually kinda cool how he did that. Like, he was pointing on the blueprint with the knife, and of course he slides it in between his hand guards and wrist and all that. And I don't know why I had major Assassin's Creed vibes right
Oh
there, like
yeah.
major Assassin's Creed. Like, he's gonna, like, you don't know, like, they're just the little tiny objects that are in there, and it comes in handy later when he pulls it out. I love that bit. I just love it how the little things that they do now prepare for the future, and just oh, but it was so good though. Like the Assassin's Creed, like I was thinking, like towards the end of the episode, it's like, oh my god, he's gonna use it like Assassin's Creed. He's gonna pull out the blade and he's gonna do something cool with it. I just know it.
Yeah, it felt a bit weird. Yeah, I mean, must admit here now that you're saying Assassin's Creed, yeah, it's all just give me that kind of vibe. But also, it's like something like give me like prison type vibes, like hiding the shiv.
Prison, yo, Leo doing some time. He needs some protection, man. I don't know where this was going.
What about doing the podcast? There's another thing. We'll be taking a fan favorite character and thinking about him in prison.
Oh god, yeah.
uh,
So, I bet someone or some company has made that into like a comic or something. I just know it. Like, there's bound to be hundreds of comics. Like I've said in previous episodes, like the turtles becoming mafia bosses. It's probably one they're in jail, and I don't know. I digress because this is going to be a whole episode in itself. Like just me and you talking about different realities, but I gotta get it back to the episode, otherwise we'll be here all night.
let's ponder the question: what if?
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. A turtle, what if?
Oh,
No, back to the episode.
okay, okay. Well, I want to add one last comment before we do go on. They did actually
Yep.
they did do two what if type situations in the comics. Although there was few more actually. Okay, okay,
Oh my gosh, what were they?
okay. Oh, what were they? There's one where the Turtles got superpowers, one where the Turtles worked for the Shredder, one where the new female Turtle grew up with the Turtles. I think there's like a few other ones, but like, and they're all like really interesting ones. Yeah.
Nice. The Shredder? Like the turtles working for the Shredder? Hold up.
Okay. So I'm gonna quickly explain the story, and then we need to move on.
I know. I'm getting too drawn into this. Like I'm falling down the rabbit hole.
Yes, at last. Okay, so about 10 years ago, there was this story arc called City Fools, where Shredder kidnapped Leonardo, brainwashed him into thinking, that Splinter was the enemy, and that Leno, but like that all his brothers died, and he was working for a Shredder. So then they took so then they took the concept of Leo working for a Shredder, and did this story called Deviations, and Deviation something like that, and basically the Turtles then worked or teamed up with Leonardo and joined his side. So then Splinter, in one final attempt, it got all got one Turtle's allies at the time to go in and help fight them. And at the time, and in the story, Casey Jones died. So then they got in his father, and they came in. The guns blazing. Shredder died. Splinter died. Casey's father died. It was a really dark comic, and in the end, Turtles well to come back to being normal, but only after Splinter sacrificed himself.
What?
Yeah, it is really insane. It's one of those ones where like you have to read to believe, but even once you read it, it's sort of hard to actually be like, did that actually happen? For how insanely good it is.
My brain's just gone.
Oh yeah, I definitely recommend reading it. It's one of those ones where like you won't believe it until you do read it, but you still don't believe it.
Yep.
Okay, so after that, April goes in with a package, um, and then that's when Miss Campbell comes in. She escapes, but then Leatherhead comes out and starts fighting the Krang. What did you think of this scene?
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie. When April entered the building and I saw Miss Campbell, oh my gosh, I actually like, oh my god, it's her, it's her. I actually said that. It's like, oh my god, it's her. How the hell she survived? Like it's her. Like, was it an error? Was it like something else? Was it a twin sister? I had no idea, but I just screamed out. It's like, oh my god, it's her. Like, run, April, you gotta run. But that's literally what I had that in that moment. It was just absolute crazy. But when April comes in with the giant parcel, the skills of that yo-yo, like, I would only dream of having those skills. Like, as a kid, you would have a yo-yo and you
Oh
would
my
try
god,
and
yeah,
the yo-yos. Don't you remember having a yo-yo?
yeah. The thing is, I wasn't like normal
You,
kids. Most kids would do like normal yo-yo tricks, going up and down around the world or something like that. Not me. I'll get it. I'll get it by a string. Just you know what Mikey does, like spins it around. Well,
oh yeah.
I'd always do that. I remember one time I did that at my
Mhm.
party, and I had a feeling I probably hit a few people.
Oh, those were the good old days. The days of yo-yos. I don't know why they went out of fashion. I really don't know
They
why.
haven't gone out of fashion. We just got older.
Yeah,
That sounds
I guess
depressing.
we did. God damn it, this episode, like,
A bit of a roller coaster of emotions.
yeah, welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Yay!
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez,
What do you think of Leatherhead coming out of the elevator?
oh my gosh, that. I'm not gonna lie, like that specific scene where he rips open the cardboard and it's just him and his face. Oh, that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed how he just rips open the cardboard. He comes out, and the first thing he does is just destroy the Krang. Like, that is probably the best scene. Like, he comes out, smashes two Krang's heads together. Oh, it is just a beautiful masterpiece. Just seeing the Krang just fly across the room. Like, 10 out of 10, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, it was great to see Miss Campbell back. The only thing is which I had a problem was how did the Krang and Miss Campbell not recognise that it was April because she didn't really cover her face. She just put her hood up, so it wasn't as if they couldn't recognise it was her. Um, and then Leatherhead thing, I really did enjoy seeing Leatherhead come back. Like in this fight, I thought it was really cool. It had a pretty cool entrance, just coming out the elevator unexpected. But the one thing we should do have to say about that is, how did Leatherhead switch places? Because there's no way they can go from underground. He couldn't go from above because that would defeat the object in going switching places or going through the. How did he switch places? There was not enough room. The box is still sealed. How?
I have no idea. That's the question I still try to figure out. It's like, how is it big enough for him and the turtles to get inside of. Like, how?
Let's ponder the question. What if?
Unrealistic.
Yes, it is very
What if?
unrealistic.
Unrealistic. That's going down in the list.
Mm. Yeah. So then after that, the turtles are climbing up the elevator. Mikey's singing the Olympic song, but that's when they have to fight a lot of Krang. What do you think of this scene?
Oh my god, this elevator scene. I'm not gonna lie. It was sure it was just simple and basic, but it was just they put bits into it that made it so like like it made it so it wasn't boring and dull as they were climbing up the elevator shaft. They made it into like part of the scene and the actual episode itself. Like the elevator was such a major part. Like it took up at least a good five 5 to 10 minutes of the episode in the elevator shaft, which okay is alright, but they made it so perfect and how it works. Like Mikey singing the Olympics song, like you just hear it. Like hold on a minute, that's the Olympics, and it's just the little tiny little bits that I enjoyed. And then of course, I'm not gonna lie, when Raph opened up that door, things were seen. Like things that we shouldn't have seen were seen, and I agree with Raph that one does need to wash out their eyes after seeing that.
Yeah.
Just their skin, like the Krang is holding like a guy's face, and it's just melted, and I do know what to say. Like how, like one, how did they acquire the skin suits? Two, why? Just why? And three, just why? Like there's so many other ways. I don't know. I don't want to get into like the darkness of this side of things. Like there's so many implications. They could have forged it from like plastic, or the other darker side is that they actually took humans and I don't know if I could say this, but I don't want to make it too dark. This episode, like, made it into like a horror. Oh jeez, like they actually got humans and they took their skin basically. But I'm realizing now it's plastic because they have the same skin as everyone else except for Miss Campbell. I don't know where Campbell's skin came from. Who knows? Who knows? That could be another thing for what if.
I like how you really read into and question all the stuff that's not really important and make it out to be something really big and dark. You really make it. I really like how I don't know how you always do it. You always seem to question and make everything that is not really important or things that won't be important into something much bigger than what they will be. And then like all the stuff which is actually
I have no
important,
idea.
you just skip over as if like, oh yeah, I guess we'll see it next time. I mean, just like, oh yeah, the Krang, the suits, oh yeah, well they kidnapped people and killed them and used their skins, and then and
Yeah,
then he gets
that is.
and then he gets saying like with, I don't know what like a good example would be, like fish face skin, his legs, which is a big thing. You're like, yeah, okay, he got his legs, that's cool. When I'm gonna fight, I really enjoy the fights. You really skip over the important parts, but like all these,
I don't mean to. It's just
some,
I just see something and it just it clicks. My brain starts ticking and
yeah,
it just comes.
yeah. I mean, it's just like with some like the characters who are just like one-off type characters or ones that don't really have anything too special. And you're like, oh yeah, oh yes, I think this character is going to do this, this, and this. He's going to be a big character later. That's going to do all these amazing things. I don't know how you do
Yeah,
it.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought the Olympic thing song was a good way to really expand upon the Olympic joke. I do like how they was able to continue that quite a bit, and then I really enjoyed the elevator fight. I think that with how this whole scene was set up, I think it was unique and fresh in a way, just because like most of the other fights have just been in the sewers, on a rooftop, in a building, like very open. Whereas this one, they were like in a confined space, and I thought it was like really good. I mean, just because of course you toes jumping across the like from side to side and the things which you don't really see that often, and I think like that could always make it like I was fine with those type of fights. It's always really interesting with how they do those fights because you quite easily just repeat other stuff. But I thought though I really feel as though Toes did it quite differently. But then when they threw the smoke bomb down into the elevator, came in and just like killing all the Krang, I just found that to be a really cool way of doing it. Where like the lights flash on, see Toes take out the Krang, then the lights come on again, take out another Krang. I thought that was just amazing. um, but yeah. Then after that, the Toes are captured by some green mist, and that's when the Toes discover that the Krang are trying to mutate the planet to live on it. So the Toes escape and start to fight the Krang. What did you think of this scene?
This was I don't know why, but when they get out the elevator and like the gas is there, Leo, he doesn't say, "Oh my God, guys, you're the best brothers I could ever have." He just says, "Oh God, it's poison gas," and then you know, like he doesn't know it's poison gas. He doesn't know what it is. Like, how can you tell it's poison? I'm getting too much into this, aren't I?
No, it's fine. We need to out the podcast some way. Yeah.
Like, I understand. Like, oh my gosh, it's poison gas. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, don't breathe. Like, but that was funny. But of course, they wake up in a giant test tube, and the scene with the portal in, and they're in the TCRI building. I'm not gonna lie, it is really done, really well done. Like how the scene's laid out, like how the Krang technology is just laid out, the portal,
Yeah.
and the Krang bots, wherever they are, they just fly around like. I'm not gonna lie, they're creepy. They're more. I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of creepy. Like, and of course, when they're in the test tube, and of course they turn around, and there's just a whole bunch of them just staring into the test tube. Like, they're the experiments and not the other way around. Like, I didn't know how scary some small pieces of gum could be. Like, it's just the little guys just when there's only one, it's fine. Like, they're kind of cute, like they're squidgy, they're pink, they remind you of like gum or something. And then when there's a lot of them, you're like, okay, this is not good anymore. This is scary. Like, there's a lot of them. They could do some damage. Like, don't mess with the gum, people. But yeah, it's just that I found creepy. That's just really creepy in general. But and then of course they finally use the blade. Oh, the blade that Leo had, the Assassin's Creed style type approach, and it came in handy. I just love that sort of stuff. Like I said before, just how the stuff combined into the episode. Just the little tiny things, but they still stick out to me, and I just love it. And he just pulls it out, makes a little cut, and oh my gosh, I know that this keeps going on and on, but I just love how Mikey becomes a battering ram. Like, this is the first time I've actually seen them use their like shells for like. I know that they're mutants, but they're not using like anyone else as a ramming battering ram, but they're using Mikey like as a battering ram, and it's just I just love that, like how they just I don't know, it's so funny and so weird at the same time. Like, poor Mikey, like no wonder why he's a bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just found that so funny that they just used him as a battering ram. So funny.
You know, to say that I didn't really like the green mist. I don't think I can understand what the effect they were going for, but I do think it failed just because the Krang. I mean, you've seen throughout the whole show, we've seen them so far going out in public without green mist, and then even after this episode, they never used the green mist again. And I just thought it was such a weird thing for them to use it. I didn't really like it. Um, oh, the Krang that was using Mikey's nunchuckers. What did you think of that little scene?
Oh my god, this scene. I didn't want to bring this up because I can't lie. The Krang's got some
Yeah, he's got
skills.
moves.
That really hurts me to say that for some odd reason, but the Krang have got skills.
Best Krang of the
Like,
show.
oh, don't want to push it, but the Krang has got skills. Like, he's got some skills right there. He's like, could be a major turtle level threat right there, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just, that was good. I'm gonna let that slide, the Krang, alright? I'm just gonna let that slide, but I'm not letting them off the hook, the Krang. That's the one good Krang that I saw. Not saying that I don't, like, I still dislike the Krang very much, but that Krang
Yeah.
he had some skills behind him. I rate that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, and when Mikey got the pull from the Batman Ram, so there's three little things here. So the first off, do you know that Mikey's belt came off him as he was thrown out the pod, or or
No, I didn't see
oh yeah,
that.
his belt came off.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's not like he was wearing any clothes, anyways.
Well, no, that's not the point. And then the thing with like the whole his arms, legs, and head going into his body, I do like how in the next version of Turtles, in terms of like TV show, Rise of Timothy, they did take this like concept and expand upon it a lot better, because in Rise they changed a lot of things up, like Raph being the leader, instead of Leo being a Mikey character. But one of the things which I did find interesting about the show was the fact that all the turtles were different species of turtles, and Mikey's one was a box turtle. So I do like how they took more or less like this sort of concept from this scene and like really expanded upon it and like made it part of his character in like the other version. I know it has nothing to do with this version of the show, but I feel like it was like a nice touch to see like where like this type of scene was may help create the other version of Mikey. Um,
Yeah, I actually quite enjoy that.
you haven't seen the other version of Souls yet.
No, I'm like, sorry, I didn't mean it to say like that. I'm interested, like
Oh,
how what you've just said. I find that interesting, like how they use their species
oh,
in the show. Like they use their scientific sort of stuff. That's what I enjoy.
oh yeah,
Like they take the time
oh yeah,
to go out there and put it in there. I just love it.
oh yeah, it was really interesting with like this with the species thing. They made Donto into a soft-shelled turtle, so it had to get like so he uses like technology as for like a layer of armor for his shell. Raph became like a
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
Raph became like a big hulking turtle as he was a snapping turtle, and like and that show is one of those ones where like you either love it or you hate it, but like they have really interesting ideas, and like the species of turtles, that's just like you could do so much with it, and they do some stuff with it, but like I just think like the whole idea of different species of turtles that could do this, and this, and this, the potential stories they could have told. There's like so many things with that.
Mm.
So yeah, after that, the turtles are fighting the Krang, but that's when Trag comes in and have to fight him. And then Leatherhead also comes in as well. Yeah, what do you think of these scenes?
I'm not gonna lie. Where did Leatherhead come from?
We came from the elevator. With that scene when he came out when he was in the elevator, like all like hunched in, his silhouette made him look like he was wearing a dress. Or was that just me?
Dress?
Yeah, no, and you know, because you can see the in between of his legs it was all just look like one black thing. He's made it look like he was wearing a dress in a silhouette.
Hmm. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
I think like probably about
Like I just saw him come out. That's all.
you know, I think it'd be one of those
Like
things.
how?
I think it'd be like one of those things if you see the episode again, I pointed out specifically, you'd be like, don't ruin that scene for me.
But yeah, I didn't notice that. That is really weird. Yeah, like how he's like a silhouette sort of thing. I could see that now. That's weird.
What do you think of the Toes versus Krang, like trying to get him through the window?
Oh. Not gonna lie, I just love how Donnie just batters them into the window. Just I love how seeing just how the Krang are just getting trashed, and I just love how the Krang are just trashed. Like they're getting thrown over the place, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a bit of pure luck that they managed to hit the Krang in the same place, like 3 or 4 different times to crack the window open so they could breathe. Like it's a bit out of luck, you know?
Yeah. A lot to say for like, a lot to tell the fact that Turtles are really concerned for the Earth, want to sort of crank from pollute, not or like not like ruining the Earth and stuff like that. But yet they will happily go and break the window and pollute the oxygen with the Krang stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, good point. Like you could have contaminated the entire New York district. Like people could have been sick or mutated by the air, radiation, galactic dimension, whatever stuff that is in the galactic dimension. I have no idea, but yeah, it could have been a lot of implications.
What do you think of the
Could have been a ton.
what do you think of the Turtles versus Krang fight? No, no, not Krang, Trag.
Right?
The big rock guy.
Oh yes, I did wanted to ask about that.
Okay.
What the hell is that? Like he just comes out of the portal out of nowhere. I'm like, and I'm just sitting there like, what, what did I miss? Did I miss something? Like, who is this? Who is this? Just comes out of nowhere, giant 60-foot rock monster, and I'm just sitting there like, what? Did I actually went back and I'm like trying to figure out if I missed any parts or anything? Just appears out of nowhere.
Okay, and let me explain his character then.
Yeah, go on then, because I will probably be sitting here for hours just trying to figure out like, what?
Okay, so basically he's just a rock guy that's in the show, but in the version before this, which was the 87 in the 80s, he's Krang's in the 80s show there was only one Krang, and he was Krang's one of Krang's best guards, but surprisingly there is a whole race of these people, and well, they're called the Rock Soldiers, and they're just people that are made out of rock that just shoot, and yeah,
They're like henchmen for the Krang, basically.
yeah, is it, yeah. I think that's the best way to describe it, really. I don't know. They're meaningless, but like they look cool. They feel like they should be cool. They feel like they should do more, but yet I don't know. And then like with this, I like how in this version they did change it up a bit, and it was like a big threat and stuff like that. But at the same, but like with the whole fight scene, I thought it was quite cool. But I think because of the mood I was in, I didn't enjoy it as much. But I don't. I always felt the fights with Trag have always been really weird. Just because because in some scenes they're able to, I mean, like in this episode they're able to get three toes, kick him in, and then he falls over. But then other scenes they are just completely useless. So I think like general track, they're always like in like a power balance, always mixed up in a way where like they can do this sometimes, but in other times they're like useless. But yeah, what did you think of the scene?
I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty cool scene. Just seeing them how a new foe comes into play and just seeing how they beat it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was just sitting there trying to figure out how they would beat it, and then of course, it's a rock monster from a different dimension. Like, what do you do? Like, he just pops out of nowhere and just starts wrecking the place. Oh, and I also had this like major conspiracy. Like, just hear me out on this one, all right?
Yep, go on.
The turtle, I believe it was 2006 or 2005. There was a movie, an Ninja Turtle movie that was released,
Yep,
and of
2007.
course 2007. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And of course this archaeologist or collector was collecting these stone artworks, right?
Yeah.
And there were and it then came to realize that this guy was almost 1,000 years old and was trying to resurrect his brothers and sisters from a great lost war, and they were all made of stone, so they had to do a ritual to get them out of the stone. And I didn't know whether that was linked to this episode or not. Like, if for those who have seen the movie in 2007, you would understand where I'm coming from. But for those that have not seen it, they're probably just sitting there like, "What is he talking about?" But you understand it, don't you, Teddy?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, they're not linked because that movie came out a few years before this one come out. But those stone people, they were like actual humans that got turned into stone. There was like a quite a bit difference between all. However, this will surprise you a lot. So the main stone guy, he did who voiced him, does the voice of Shredder in this show. The one who does the big stone guy, he does the voice of the Hulk in the like loads of Marvel projects. But then there's two other voices which you're going to be really shocked at. So the first one, Casey Jones in that movie, voiced by Chris Evans, and then
No way.
yeah, and then the person who played the archaeologist, the old man, played by Patrick Stewart.
No way.
Yeah, I'm being serious.
Damn.
I feel like I feel like we're definitely going to go back and watch like some of those movies. Like, I need to get you caught up on those stuff.
Damn. Like, there's so much to get caught up on. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's just immense how big this universe is.
Yeah, even though those names are like really big, and like, oh my god, like still this show does still have like a lot of names which you can be like, oh my god, I can't believe they got that person in, because of the name. Whereas like the 2003 show, you can be like, oh my god, you got that voice actor did played the voice of that person in that other show. So I think like it's like really interesting. Like everything about Nick shows is always really interesting. Like behind the scenes, voice actors, everything about it really is always just so interesting. And I feel like you
Mm.
probably have learnt this along your ways.
Oh yes, definitely.
I mean, just because I mean, you probably just thought it was just four toes, just finding some guys, and that was pretty much it. But I feel like this show has definitely changed your opinion on that quite a bit.
Yeah, it has.
Um, okay, let's talk about the saddest scene in the episode where Leatherhead sacrifices himself.
Alright, pre brother. I'm not gonna lie, I was like screaming, it's like, Leatherhead, no! Don't do it! Like, surely they could have, like, kicked him into the portal and that would be it. But no, Leatherhead had to go and sacrifice himself. One of the cool characters had to go and sacrifice himself
You still have Dog
for
Pound.
the greater good. Oh yeah, Dog Pound, but Leatherhead, come on. Like, you can't replace him. Like, Leatherhead is Leatherhead. You can't replace him. Like, who's gonna smash Donatello's face into the wall, you know? That's gonna be missed.
You realise he's not dead, right? He just went through the portal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Not dead.
No,
Are you spoiling?
no, I'm not spoiling. No. The portal was opening up for the thing on the other side to come through, and he went back and pushed Trag through the other side.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
but
he's not dead.
but we don't know when he's coming back.
Oh, you'll be surprised when he does.
Like, he's gone. Like, you don't know when he's coming back. Like, for you that have seen all the episodes, you think, oh, he'll be back. But then for
Oh, it's
someone
still for
like
quite a
me
while.
to come along
Like a really long
to
time.
see that he's gone and you don't know when he's coming back, you're like, damn it, they have to get rid of the good ones, you know?
Yeah, I must admit, like as a kid, because I remember this episode specifically watching this one. I was really shocked, and I feel like you probably had the same experience like when you're watching TV shows when like you just got your mouth open watching it and just like you'll be oblivious to everything that goes around you as you're just so glued to the screen. I was like that for that entire scene. I'll say that I'm a bit shocked by it, but not as much. But when I was watching it the first time, yeah, I was like that. I mean, actually, this might surprise you, but this is actually the way which I found out what the word sacrifice means. It, yeah,
Wow, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Just sacrifice. Damn.
yeah, um, yeah. So after that, Mike, they return home. Mikey has a Krang USB stick, and that is when it's discovered that the Krang or the whole mission is about April. What do you think of this scene?
This just this just blew everything out of the water for me. Like this just changes everything. Like what I thought about what the Krang were actually trying to do. Like it just completely just I I don't know what to say. Like after all this time, they tried making mutants, try and make New York into a mutated hellscape, and now you find out that they want April, and I'm trying to figure out why. Like they've already got her dad, so why do they need her? Like, is she special? Is she like got some weird powers or abilities that I don't know about yet and potentially going to see? Like, April's now a target. She's now important to, like, we've seen April here and there in other episodes, but now April is a part of the Turtles in a way. Like, they've become more interconnected. And it just, I had no idea what to say to this. Like, I was speechless.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think okay.
You're speechless too, aren't
No,
you?
no, no, no. It's not. I'm not. It's not that I'm speechless. It's just how do I word it without spoiling anything. You'll find out
Well,
soon.
if you can't think of anything, don't
Yeah,
spoil
no,
it.
no, no, no. I'm not. I'm not trying to spoil it, but like, it's just like I don't want to like comment on like what you said, but like, how do I comment without saying anything? I think like, the best way to describe it is just you'll find out very like quite soon enough. But like my two thoughts about this scene. So the first one is it seems a bit like simpy in a way, like with Krang just taking all these pictures. uh,
Yo, Crane kind of sus.
and then like, the other way is another way which I looked at this is also really weird. Like Krang taking so many pictures of a 16-year-old girl. Or is that
Oh my gosh.
yeah? It's just
Uh,
yeah,
I did not realise the applications of that.
yeah. I mean,
Well, they're aliens, so I guess it doesn't count.
what I mean, it doesn't count. Still did it.
Well, I know they still did it. They took pictures of an underage girl. You know, like, as a child, you probably would bypass it and think, oh, it's fine. But no, as we get older, you start to realise this.
You know what? I'm just gonna stop you there just before things get extremely weird.
Yeah, we're gonna stop right here before I go on a tangent, and
Yeah.
if we do, we're
Mm,
gonna go down deeper into that rabbit hole. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what do you think of this episode overall?
overall, this episode was a good episode. Like, it's definitely up there. Like, I wouldn't say it's my top 10, but it's definitely the one to remember. Like, it is definitely a huge turning point in the series so far. Like, for this season, like, it's definitely a huge turnaround for the Turtles, the universe, April, and just finding out a bit more on what is actually going on in New York, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge eye opener for like the viewer itself. Like the viewer is understanding more and more and more, and I believe episode 17 is just a huge plot opener for everything.
Mm. Yeah, definitely say that like this episode was like a really good one for definitely getting the viewer on board with like understanding of what like the story is, and I think that I think they did like a really good job of that because I feel like maybe at this point you should either know or you don't know what's going on because I mean, I do think if they left this story a bit long, or this whole plot point of, oh, the Krang want to take over the world because everyone live here. I do think if you left it a bit longer, I don't think it would have had the same effect. But I think having it here was a really good one. And then do think that the thing that will like definitely keep you remembering this episode was how like Leatherhead sacrificing himself, and I think it's still like a really powerful scene. But I think I don't know. This episode was really good, but I don't. But I feel like there are episodes that got me a bit more invested in the story. I think that's the best way to to say it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do you want to hear some comments from some people?
Yeah, go on then. Have we actually got comments this
Yeah.
time? Let's hear them.
Okay. So from Varian Best Boy. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. Absolutely awesome episode. I love how it showed more into the Krang and even hints at things we didn't realize but see later in the show, which yeah, they're not really good. They don't really hint at anything later in the show really. 1984 NYC Punk put Krang feels crangier. I got a feeling
Come again?
Krang feels crangier. I got a feeling you have a problem with that comment, so let's move on.
Yep.
Freelance Wolf puts, I was gutted when I saw this. Leatherhead was only in a few episodes, and then just gone. Hang on. I thought he was one of the good. I thought. Oh. Okay, yeah, no, I'm not saying the rest of it. Many spoilers in a way, not really too much. Okay, do you want to hear some trivia?
Let's hear it.
Okay, a running gag in this episode is when someone, usually Mikey, brings up the Olympics. Okay, yeah. There's not really much of a trivia, is it? It's just...
Nah, I didn't find that trivia enough, did it?
I mean, it's only Splinter that said, oh, it's the Olympics, but I still wouldn't say that's... God, it must be a really slow day in news office.
Yep.
In this episode, the Turtles all take a deep breath and hold it as Mikey retreats into his shell to be used as a battering ram instantly. Every real life turtle have to exhale all the air from their lungs to be able to retreat into their shells.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Actually, that's actually quite cool, actually. Leo says for quote, "We're not in Kansas anymore." From the 1939 film Wizard of Oz. We have Error, which is when Mikey gets inside his shell, his belt disappears. So, I really thought there would be a lot more because, I mean, just this episode overall, I would have thought there'd been a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the cast, we got Rob Paulsen playing Donatello, Nolan North playing the Krang, Pete Lurie playing Leatherhead, Jason Biggs playing Leonardo, Greg Sykes playing Michelangelo, Sean Astin playing Raphael, Mae Whitman playing April, Rob Paulsen playing the homeless guy, Cassandra Peterson playing Miss Campbell, and Hoon Lee playing Splinter. Yeah. So,
Oh. So no new people then?
I mean, the only one was Trag, but he didn't have a voice. So
Yeah. Oh,
I really thought that.
I'm not gonna lie. The trivia was a disappointing. Trivia was.
Yeah, I mean, oh, well, it came out. It came out on March the 1st. It's not really much of trivia, but it's something interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really hoping for a little bit more like trivia errors or the cast. Just
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I was wanting to hear like whose new voices like, but I guess they kind of went a bit, meh. Like the news office is like, you know what, we're just gonna play it off for today,
You know what we haven't done was actually looked into the tell voices. Because every time we bring in like someone new, we'd be like, oh yeah, they'd be in this, this, and this. We should probably look into the tell voices as well. So okay, Rob Paulsen, he was born in 1956. He's the regular voice of Raphael in the 80s TV show. Up until the last, then he was replaced in the last season. But then he returned to the franchise in 2012 to play Donatello. And then he became the voice director for the next version of Turtles, but then also did the voice of the Foot Soldiers. Some other notable roles he's been in is Yakko Warner, Otto Scratchniff, and Pinky from Animaniacs. Um, which the later role, which the latter role he also voiced Pinky in the Brain spin-off. Paulson also reprised Yakko and Pinky in the 2020 Hulu revival series. He also voiced the Mask from the animated series based on the movie. His role Pinky won him a daytime Emmy Award for his male voice performance. Until he's been the voice of 250 voices in animated and performed over 1,000
Wow.
commercials. He continues to play minor
Damn.
parts in dozens of cartoons, as well as supporting characters in multiple animated movies. Oh my god.
Is that Rob Paulson?
Oh my... Hang on, I'm just looking through the list. Jeez, he's done so many voices. Oh my... Trivia. He and... Oh no, there's not really too much trivia. Okay, so from the Turtles universe, he played Raphael in Shredder's Revenge, the Full Lieutenant in Rise of TMNT. In 2012 show, he played Donatello, another character which I won't mention as a little bit of a spoiler for things to come. That's a good one. Okay, in the 80s show, he played Anchorman, Army General, Bufford Bad, Dominus, Denton Nullock, Dinosaur, documentary presenter, Donald J. Lothry, Dwayne, the first Mole Squad member, the first explosive theft, first thug, first construction worker, Grigbix, High Five, High Tech, Howie Hardy, Jerry Junkie, Kojima Brothers, the Luffy Ladron. Oh my, things are not even halfway through the list. I mean,
Oh my gosh. He's been in a lot.
yeah, over 250 things he's been in.
Jesus. And oh my gosh, I've just realised as well. Did you say, oh my god, Pink? I don't know why this has just clicked, but he's, like you said, he's been in Pinky in the Brain, Animaniacs, Jimmy Neutron. These are well good classics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is all from our childhood. Like, Pinky in the Brain, good show. Animaniacs, oh, Animaniacs the best. Of course, he's been in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. And of course, Jimmy Neutron. Like,
I don't think I said that one, did I?
come on. No, I don't think he did. I think, yeah, Jimmy Neutron. My god, yeah. Damn, he's... Oh my
he's
god,
been in a lot of stuff.
oh my gosh. The classics. The classic TV shows that we will love and know. Like, we got Daniel Craig Smith as well. And now we got Rob Paulson. Like,
Oh yeah.
keeps getting better and better.
I mean, like some of these ones which always do surprise me, like especially like tall ones. Like I mean, like Phil Lamar, he did the voice of Green Lantern Justice League show. Like that was a pretty big one for me. And, like there's like so many of these people, and just like I can't believe you did the voice of that. Just wow. Okay, so for next week's episode is called Cockroach Terminator. What do you think is going to happen in this episode? I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say there's gonna be some cockroaches that need terminating, perhaps, or the Terminator comes along and gets rid of the cockroaches. You know, pretty bog standard stuff. Or it could be like a new boss, like the Rat King, potentially. But to be honest, a cockroach exterminator.
No,
Like,
Cockroach Terminator.
oh, Terminator, right. Oh, that's even better. Cockroach Terminator. Ooh, I don't know. Cockroach Terminator. Could be a new character, perhaps. I'm thinking new character, or whether I'm gonna go with new character. That's my final. I'm gonna lock it in. New character.
Okay, yeah, you are correct. When you see next week's episode,
Yes.
when you see next week's episode, you're gonna be like, oh my god, no, I can't really say much because, because whatever I say, 'cause I was questioning about it. It's gonna, I mean, it's not really like a big spoiler or anything, but it's hard to say really. But when you see next week's episode, you'll understand what I'm trying to say without saying it.
Right.
I mean,
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to
oh yeah.
unveil it to me
Oh, yeah,
now.
yeah.
I've got next week to do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know, but it's just one of those things. And it's a bit like it's just so obvious with the name and all that, and then you just go, oh yes, I feel like there could be a bunch of cockroaches that can be terminated. Just like you definitely took that in a different direction than what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about this episode?
No. This episode is awesome to watch and is just a great has a great plot twist, and it's just a real good eye opener for the plot for the viewer, and hands down an awesome episode to watch. Must watch.
Well, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this has been another episode of Talking Turtles. If you do want to get onto the podcast, you can leave a message or voice message or text message over on Anchor. You can leave a comment on the Reddit post which I put on the 2012 thing over there. You can leave a message on the community tab which I put up for this episode, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube video. But yeah, I've been Teddy.
I've been Hayden.
And we'll catch you all next time. Goodbye, yo, bye.
Bye.